Hello everybody, my name is Connor, and I swear to God, if this is not the last Saka game I play, I will be upset. I thought everyone in my meta was done with Saka, but apparently we've got a couple people just playing it till the end. Shout out to my boy Tyler here. Really fun playing against him. I think the majority of the Saka games on my channel are against him, and I have the god opening hand. So I end up playing the Nami Searcher because we have so many, and we get mostly Whitebeard pirates, which is great. So I take the Luffy because that's the only option that we can take, and I'm like, okay, like there's that, and then I'm like, well, I have Izo, like I'd like to have Whitebeard pirates, like let's play that out too, get two bodies out. And if I played it in reverse, you know, I would have had a lot of options, but yeah, you know, I unfortunately have to bottom deck the 2K Sanji and two of the 4, I think, Makinos I have. And we go ahead, pass turn, get a life, and it is our 0 cost event. And yeah, so we have a lot of one Dawn characters in our hand, a lot of Nami Searchers. We see 3 of the 4 Nami Searchers already. So I'm definitely a little nervous here. He goes ahead, and I think he ends up Saka affecting here. I know he was going to swing with 5, and then he remembered that I was a 6k leader. He trashes Rebecca, picks something else up, and just swings everything at my face. And I'm trying to decide if I want to counter out, if I think it's worth countering out. And I think I end up countering. I don't know how I feel about that. I didn't have to drop that many cards, and we do get a 2k Sanji, so that's not a bad thing to get off the top of our deck at this moment. But yeah, part of me feels like maybe I should have just taken that hit. I don't think it ultimately matters in the end. I am thinking about playing... So I was thinking about playing another Nami Searcher, but I decided to swing 5. I think 5-7. Just because I feel like the best way to deal with Sakazuki is to kind of just run at him. I swing 5-6, and there's a chance I actually play the Nami Searcher instead, which I don't hate. I know Nami searches out a lot of rush characters as well as a lot of the defense. I think both Radbeam, Guard Point, and the Bad Manners Kick course can all be searched by Nami. And speaking of Radbeam, we do get a Radbeam off the top of our life, so not too upset about that. He goes ahead and swings Tashigi into Izo, and I let Izo go because there's no point. I can swing Nami into Tashigi to clear that body off the board. He swings 6. I give him the Nami because I have a Kajillion. And he drops Borsalino, which is less... I found Borsalino to be less of a problem in this match than the other matches. Granted, I think I'd be very interested to see what my opponent's hand was looking like a majority of the game. But yeah, I felt like Borsalino was something that I could take care of pretty easy. I swing the 2 into Tashigi, and I think he's thinking about letting it go, and I assumed he was going to let it go, and then when he didn't immediately, I was like, oh, wait a second, but he does let it go. I tap 5, I swing 6 into Sakazuki, he gives me the 2k, I swing another 6 into Sakazuki, that'll put us we'll be at 3 life next turn if I am counting correctly, the layout will tell you guys, and he discards another T-Bone, so I'm totally okay with that. And we get Megara, which is great because we do have Nami on board currently. Don't know if she'll stay on board. I'm assuming not. Just because she is fairly easy to buff up, I feel. And at this point in the game, I'm feeling pretty good. I do have a lot of Radbeams in my hand, which I try not to use Radbeams until I'm at under 2 life. he does swing so he swings the 5 into Nami and then minuses Luffy, and he plays the Great Eruption to minus Luffy some more, minusing him to 2, and I can't find the 2 on my dice. There it is. And he Hound Blazes, minuses Luffy, or bottom decks Luffy, and pumps up the Borsalino and swings. He swings at he swings with Borsalino, which I am honestly okay with. That means I can kind of just ignore Borsalino next turn if I want. But I do end up taking this hit. I get the Rad Beam. I get another Rad Beam, and I was trying to think of, do I want to play out the trigger? And then I was like, no, Black doesn't have any rush and he's done attacking, so not worth it. So we have 3 Rad Beams, 3 of our 4 Rad Beams in our hand, and we do top deck another Luffy, which is neato if you ask me. So trying to decide what I want to do here. I feel like I have a couple options, but if I choose the right option, that is the question. So we have a lot. So I just end up playing Rush Luffy again, and I have 3, so I could have attached 2 Dawn and swung into Borsalino, but at this point I thought if he gets rid of I felt like he expended a lot of resources to get rid of my other Rush Luffy, and if he counters to save Borsalino or blocks with Borsalino, that's good for me. So I win here. Not actually, but in theory. So I swing 6 at Sokka, and he takes it, and we draw our life, and we get Newgate. And I'm like, okay, I am feeling like I'm sitting pretty good. And I know I mentioned the last game, I feel like I need to work on my Newgate timing. I feel like this game I was too skittish to play Newgate. I don't know if playing Newgate could have helped me in the end. I definitely am interested in the feedback from you guys. This is my second time playing Newgate in person. I really am enjoying how the deck plays. I very much like the aggressive decks that kind of rush at your face, head empty, no thoughts. So my opponent is trying to figure out what they want to do here, and this might be the turn. I know they miscount their Dawn. I think it's this turn. So they go 6 into Luffy, and I'm thinking about using Megara. I do, because they don't have, much on the board. And I don't have much on the board, so I'd like to keep Luffy alive. If I can keep Luffy alive, I can apply a lot of pressure. So I'm counting how much Dawn he has left, and I'm like, you have 7 Dawn? And he's like, oh, yeah, I do. So I end up countering out and saving Luffy for now. But yeah, my opponent did miscount their Dawn, but I think they were able to be okay at the end there, and they play Sabo 2, draw 2, trash 2, which is very useful, honestly. We do love a Sabo play. And he trashes Rebecca, and I think he's... One thing I didn't do, which I think I should have done, I don't think it would have had too much of an effect, but I think... so my opponent ends up trashing Marineford, which is interesting, but I am so okay with that. I should have looked through the trash to check their 2Ks. I think that would have helped me a little bit, but I do get 10 Dawn, and I am trying to figure out what's my play, what do I want to do here. I'm sorry, I think I mentioned that my opponent was at 7 Dawn. He was at 9 Dawn. I'm at 10 Dawn. That is how this game works. Whew. So, as you guys can see, I don't have a ton in my hand to play out. I have a lot of counter events, but I don't have a ton to play. So, my thought is I go for, and all of a sudden his Sakazuki has turned into Patrick. That's fine. I go 6, I can speak, into Borsalino. I don't want him to restand Borsalino. My thought here is I play Rush the rush Sanji, and then he lets Borsalino go, and I swing 2 into life. But he keeps Borsalino up. I swing another 6 into Borsalino. I do want that Borsalino gone. I figure this way he either has to counter and save it, or he he uses Sabo. So he does let Borsalino go, which I am okay with. And I'm trying to figure out how much I want to swing with. I end up swinging 7. Yeah, just because I know it is harder for him to counter out of the 7. And then I have 3 Dawn up, and he doesn't have a ton of attackers. So at this point in the game, I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm thinking that I could kind of apply a lot of pressure and kind of break through, and he takes the life, and I go ahead and pass and draw my last life, which it's an ISO searcher, which is great. We love getting counter, and I'm thinking, depending on how this turn goes, I can go for game next turn. And he goes ahead and he Sokka abilities, and I am thinking I have enough to keep my bodies alive. If he swings into my bodies, I can keep my bodies alive. If he swings into me, I've got plenty to keep me alive. And he's doing math, and if I remember correctly, after the game, he and I were talking, and he did tell me that he top decked something that's just gonna ruin my night, really. Which is unfortunate. He swings 5 at me, and he says, I know it's not gonna do anything. I swing 5, we're gonna minus leader, and I said, okay, like that works for me. He drops the Gecko. He plays out Rebecca. He plays out Helmeppo to minus the, what is his name? The Luffy. Oh, I almost said Lucci. And then with Moira, he plays out. So yeah, he top decked the that 2-cost event, which name I can't remember, and bottom decks both of my opponents, or both of my characters on board, and he uses Gecko to play out Hina and Rebecca. Rebecca ends up playing out Helmeppo, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, that is super unfortunate. So this is the part where I know I mentioned it last video. I said, like, oh, I kind of want to start running Fire Fist. If I had a Fire Fist right here, I could have done something. But I feel like I really had this game until the Gecko play happened. And even with the 4 rad beams, at this point I'm thinking I'm kind of toast. I can't get rid of Gecko. I have to get through the blocker. I can maybe get rid of Hina, but and there's a chance So I end up dropping Marco, popping Rebecca, which I don't hate that play at all, really. I know with Fire Fist, though, I could have minus something and then used Fire Fist to pop Rebecca, and then used Marco to pop something else, and that would have given him less of a board, which would have been nice. And I'm gonna swing 7. I'm trying to decide if I want to swing 7 into life, and I'm like, I think I need to clear board. I swing 7, so I swing 7 into Sabo. I think maybe I should have swung 7 into Hina, but he just gives me the 2k. Definitely looking back at it, I feel like I should have swung the 7 into Hina, and then maybe he would have had to dump more from his hand, but maybe I could have done something. But yeah, now I'm definitely on the back foot, man. Gecko, the 8-cost Gecko not being leader locked, like, is pretty rough. Like, it's just such a good card. Lets you, get back so much value from your trash. And, yeah, I'm kind of, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, like, Marco needs to live if I want to have a chance to go for life. And I don't know what the chances are, but he swings 5, 6, 7, 8 at me, and I don't think I feel like playing out the Newgate here would have been the wrong play. I'm definitely interested in what you guys have to say, but instead of playing the Marco out and then passing, so I end up zero cost and trashing Newgate, just because I didn't, and I think I might have countered wrong. I didn't want to counter out with Rad Beam because I felt like it was overkill when I only needed like 3k, and Rad Beam is 4, but so I did the 3k with, yeah, I don't know if that was the right way to counter out. Maybe it would have been better to just use the one of the Rad Beams, but he swings 6, 7, 8. He swings 8, minusing Marco, which that gets me pretty stressed out. I tap 1, Rad Beam out of it. He swings 9, and I'm making sure the maths. I tap 1, Rad Beam out of it. He plays Tashigi, and I think he ends up, yeah, because I would have had to, I don't think he swings Sabo here. So he Hound Blazes, bottom decks Marco, and yeah, I think I do go ahead and counter out. I'm pretty sure I give him the 2k here, and then he swings 6, and I Rad Beam, and I'm thinking, okay, if I can top deck something with Rush, I win, and of course we don't. So I kind of just scoop at this point, I think. No, I think, you know what, I take that back. I think I do tell him, I think I lose, but I'm going to try my best. Which, yeah, with the board he has and what I have, I lose. So, really, just really kind of an unfortunate game. I feel like his Gecko play really turned it around for him. Like, I feel like I was applying a ton of pressure and really, like, I feel like I had him, honestly, and watching it back, I'm, like, kind of getting bummed out, like, kind of, not, like, upset, but, like, irritated, you know, like, Gecko's just such a good card, and so I kill Gecko here, and I'm, like, looking, and I'm like, yeah, there's no feasible way, like, if I top decked Rush, you know, yeah, I could have, but I did not, and he just bottom decked so many good cards, and yeah, just him getting the Navy, the 2-cost Navy event, the bottom decks too, which I hate that card. I hate that card so much. It's just so good. It really cost me the game there, which is unfortunate, but that is the game we play. Not much I can do. I feel like I did all right. Maybe I was too like skittish playing Newgate, but yeah, you know, for considering this was my first 2 games on the Newgate deck, I'm not too mad about how I did. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, hit that like button down below. It helps me out more than you could ever know. Go ahead and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.